we leave off? I did watch this.
I think he does a thing that's called like.
I will tell you.
Oh, that's
in a
all right.
second.
If you were
Welcome in to session 54 of Adventures in Aanthara. Summary of what just happened, Leah.
What?
Yes. The Twilight Heralds.
We do that?
Yeah. Completed successfully their mission to recover Hugo Fornoir and dispose of a couple of assassins, who apparently are being called the Hydra Assassins now. Although technically not all of you know that, just one of you does. And upon doing so, they contacted Rylus Tyrael of the Shaded Wind, with whom they had a sort of contract for this job. And he made his way to Leah to meet with them. They dealt with a bit of business in the meantime, also a bit of leisure, and a bit of meeting with old co-workers that did not go according to plan, because apparently certain secrets are being spread about Sam. And she learned about that, which was not ideal for her. But Rylus did make his way to Leah, and the party met with him and had a long conversation in which Brightwing was listening very attentively because she was rolling inside checks, as we all know. Yes. Mm-hmm. The conversation covered a variety of topics, but largely it centered around the exchange of information from the party to Rylus and the Shaded Wind, a bit of tension over how much information they were willing to share, given how little they know of the Shaded Wind on the whole, and of Rylus's superiors, and a revelation that Rylus himself had been in talks with the Order to potentially create some kind of more formal relationship with the Twilight Heralds, which is currently up in the air. So some information has been withheld by the party, which they are potentially considering to trade with the Wind once they reach Ilmara, and Rylus is able to set up a meeting with his superiors and the core members of the higher-ups in the Shaded Wind. And then Rylus mentioned that he would eventually be getting back to Ilmara, but not immediately, because he was going to the Onyx Web to speak with somebody there about new whispers that had apparently come to their attention regarding these assassinations. And that's where we left off. It is nighttime. Rylus has left. What would you all like to do? You are in Hugo Fornoir's office still.
I think Sam immediately kind of just like puts her back against a wall or one of the empty bookshelves and catches her breath for a moment. Hands on her knees.
Are you alright?
I can barely breathe in here.
Well,
And
let's go somewhere else.
Yeah, she immediately starts walking out.
Okay. Anybody
there-
not follow?
Is there a place anywhere with like a big window or just like a balcony or anything?
Yeah, you have been around the consortium now a bit. There are a few like large patios that you could go to, the kinds of places where Eclipse would often have stood watch, and Luna likely is often standing watch these days.
Kind of like half steer, half lead.
Hmm.
If there's one nearby.
Yeah, you can do that.
Sorry, am I here or am I on watch? I can't remember.
Oh, you're back.
You're
Did I
here.
come back? Okay.
You were only on
Yeah,
watch
you
for
made
that
the
night.
trade.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. Thank you.
Ever since we got back, you've not been yourself.
To me.
Yes.
What do you mean, not myself?
Just feel like you. Since I've known you, it's been what, a month, but you have been fairly focused, singularly so, on one thing, and now you seem distracted.
More, how they say, trotting on razor edge.
You barely know me at all. You don't know how I was before meeting you.
I can see you're scared now. You were scared before, but this is a different type of fear.
It's not our job to pressure you. If you don't want to talk about it, you just have to say. But knowing somebody or not, it's quite visible that something's bothering you.
Why don't you believe the rumor I told you?
Because we believe that you didn't do it.
I mean, what do you even know?
About you?
Do you not believe I'm capable of such thing? Or that I wouldn't just go do that?
I mean, you were on the ground for quite a bit during the last battle. I don't think that means that you're incapable. But I think it's the mindset. To even bring up the fact of a rumor in the first place. You chose to tell us that it happened, and somebody that was guilty or somebody that was involved with that probably wouldn't have even mentioned it, and we would never have known.
You're also
Or you told
a mother.
us.
You have
You
people
don't
to-
think I wouldn't have done this at a chance of getting them back?
Do you want us to believe you did it?
No.
Is
I
that
think a
somehow
mother would do
easier?
everything for their child, but I also think a mother wants their child to be able to look them in the eye. And be able to call them mother. I think you love them too much for that.
Love them too much to not give in
Dis-
to habit, instinct, do what I do best.
Kill without mercy? No, you don't do that. Those assassins, robots, I'm sorry, Soulforge did.
I just don't understand why you're so eager to believe my words, to believe my actions.
Because you would have killed us already.
Kill the people that could be my last chance, that could have helped me in any way. Killing you would have been foolish.
Your last chance of what? Finding the assassins?
Getting back at everything. Getting back at everyone I want gone.
Who else is on that list?
Quite a few. Last chance at finding my kids, making sure they're safe.
Well, maybe you appealed to one of our soft spots. Children do happen to get to us quite quick, I suppose.
And I fear you might have misjudged some of us. But I do want to be reunited with your children. I do not want to take a life unless it is necessary. Self-defense. I do not kill. Just to get someone out of the way.
I'll ask you blankly. Is the rumor true?
Whether or not it's true, you should believe it.
Why are you trying to drive us away?
Why don't you believe in yourself?
Because now, even Rylus isn't going to trust. It doesn't matter how much rapport you have with him or anyone else. There are people with loads of respect on them who, frankly, don't trust me. I lost the respect of my mentor, the person I've known for a decade more.
I think you're worrying about something before it happened.
No, I'm not.
I think you're letting fear cloud your judgment.
I think, in response to what you asked, Faye, they've torn enough families apart. I don't want yours to be next. And if you want to look at this, like, we're all still on the same page, like we're all still working together towards something. Me being around when you go to Leah or to Ilmara is gonna make everything a lot. If you want to go to that gala and rub shoulders with all those politicians, luminaries, possibly, most likely, they won't let me anywhere near that. They wouldn't let me a mile in.
You are free to choose what you will. But no, you always have a place with us.
I appreciate it. It's too much to bring more people into the line of fire, at least this closely. And all I'm saying is, the more you believe that I could have done wrong, if you ever get caught or questioned, the least you'll have to lie about it.
See, here's the problem. We know of your children. We know of your husband. We know of the family that you're involved with. And we know that there's a problem. What's to stop us from going anyway?
You can go. I just can't make the conscious decision to endanger any chances you have of success.
What will you do?
I'll do what I need to. Without obligation to the web, I can go and talk to anybody, to any other group, and not have to worry.
Are you not worried about these other groups having heard these rumors? Being turned away from them? If that's your logic?
Well, rumors are powerful. And certainly the rumor that's going around makes me seem a lot more dangerous, doesn't it?
We have options. It's not public knowledge what happened yet. We can
No.
still spin the narrative. As long as the public, the general public, believes that those two acted alone, you should be safe, right?
This isn't just a petty, small rumor. If I interpreted what Bennett said correctly, the small people who think this are the most powerful. They have the most power here. And they can make whoever they want believe it. And it's so easy to pin it on me.
So how do we clear your name?
I can try to figure that out. What's most important is you need to be in Ilmar. You need to go to that gala. That's the best chance they have right now.
What if the rocks are there?
They don't know you. And if they see you or recognize you in any way, just let them know who I am. That swindling, backstabbing, Sildarian bitch that you came across blindsided you into thinking that we were friends.
Now you're giving yourself too much credit.
You did blindside us, but not in the way you think.
And you're not a bitch, no.
She's definitely a bitch. That's the best thing about her.
That's the best part! You fit right in.
Sam,
Mm-hmm.
you're putting a lot of weight on you. The mountain cannot be held up by a single rock. It needs the foundation. Perhaps we part ways for a bit, and not forever.
As soon as I come up with something, and you've done what you need to do, that requires precision and a secrecy that I won't provide. I can certainly come back. Hopefully armed with more information.
Where will you go?
A lot of... But... I'll figure it out. Probably up to where the kidnappings originally started. See what they know. Maybe follow some old leads back with my old groups. I don't doubt Soldarians have a lot of information about Cathian officials.
We can give you some copies of what we found. Notes and stuff.
I'll take it all.
When was Ryla supposed to speak with whoever?
I think they're speaking, even if not right now, earlier tomorrow. But the web doesn't necessarily close at night, so it could be whenever.
So prior to our next interaction with Rylus, what is the idea going forward? Say he believes it. Say he believes in the rumor, says that there's something linked to you, possibly dangerous. I mean, there's a level of conspiracy that could be drawn just from that. An announcement that the two assassins responsible for the slaying of a bunch of leaders weren't working alone, and there's still somebody at large, could still cause unrest. I don't think they're going to let that information get out. What do you want us to tell Rylus? For why you're no longer with us, if that's the case?
And a part of me wants people to believe, put more distance between our working group. Let him believe what he wants. Because the more you fight it, the more he's not going to trust you either.
If we by chance find your kids, is there anything you want them to know?
If we find her kids, we're not leaving them with simply a message from Mom.
Well, no. It's not our style, but obviously we'd want to tell them something.
There's too much to say, but also neither of them are young enough to understand anything. They won't remember any of this when they're older. Just tell them that I miss them. That I love them more than anything. And I'll be home soon.
Perhaps it's a good thing you may have until morning. You could write a letter or draw a picture for them.
I was going to suggest that perhaps we should take the night before making such a drastic decision. Do not let fear make your choices for you. Let the stillness of mind do it.
I've been thinking about it for days. Since I got the news, essentially.
Then what is one more night?
And where to first?
Oh no. No. This is a choose your own adventure type evening.
My instinct is to go for drinks again. Only one of you have seen the my usual place.
Well, we have good company.
The best.
And one of the best drummers this side of Kathos. So, pull out my
And
hand.
me.
I start leading them to the shaded stein.
Okay. Sam leads you to a kind of mid-scale, sort of mixed vibe between like a old-timey tavern and a very more hipster-esque brewery type spot, not far from the Cloud Spire. Which level?
To the top, baby!
Okay. To the top, where you find what is essentially like a rooftop bar, much more upscale than what you initially walk in on in the ground level. Has kind of like the hanging lights situation. Looks to be the kind of place that like graduate student couples and undergrads who came from money come, as well as a bit more of the higher business class of Olay. And you guys have access to drinks, food, a very vibey atmosphere.
I'll get my regular.
Okay.
What great drinks. Go nuts.
I want the most ridiculous, fruity, like muddled, mixed broth. Like just something that's gonna give me a headache.
Yep. Very doable.
Are there nuts in the drinks or just nuts?
You could get the sundae. Those have nuts.
There's also a charcuterie board with nuts.
Mmm.
I think a sundae is more fit for it though.
What about a flatbread?
Yes,
love that.
definitely flatbreads. Okay. Anything you all want to do or discuss here?
I think when like someone comes to take our order, Brighton's like, I would have to go nuts, please.
The waitress who's come up kind of looks at the rest of you, looks back at Brightwing. Of course, we'll put something together for you. Disappears for a while. Comes back with what is a bright blue cocktail of some kind.
Oh god.
Oh god! That's gonna be a platter of
Let's
nuts.
see. Let's see. What is in this? Vodka, rum, tequila, gin, blue curacao, and sweet and sour mix.
This is
And
a
some
goddamn
Sprite.
This is a Long Island.
Yeah.
This
Or
is an adios motherfucker, is what this is.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh boy!
Is this Brett?
It's
Has
like-
Brett been drink before?
Brightwing's had sips.
Yes, but not something
Not
like this,
this.
Not
probably.
something to drink.
It's
Get
very
drunk.
tall in a skinny glass.
Mhm.
It matches your feathers. It's really cute.
It does, actually. It is very much the blue of your feathers, but like vibrant and blue.
And is there a
Bright
little
blue.
pink umbrella in it too?
Pretty much, yeah. Do you try it?
Yeah, I'll try.
It
She definitely,
is.
definitely picks it up being like, this is not what I thought it was gonna be, but okay.
It is incredibly strong, but also actually tastes kind of decent if you can deal with the strong undercurrent of alcohol.
After the first 3 sips, it'll taste like nothing anyway.
Yep.
True.
For real. I rolled a 10.
It's sippy
Okay.
juice.
If you get to the bottom, which is up to you, you will be very buzzed.
Okay.
No,
Dude.
not on one.
Not wasted, but very, very buzzed.
She is small.
She is small.
small.
And she does not
Mhm.
have a tolerance, and this thing is strong.
Yeah.
I think Brightwing's like, this is a go nuts, you should try.
It'll definitely make you go nuts, that's for sure.
I'll take a go nuts.
Oh?
Yeah.
Okay. The waitress brings out another one. Much more in your wheelhouse, but still pretty damn strong.
All right. Do we still have horses? Did we ever like inquire about them?
No, we never
Pretty
did
sure
check.
Crater would have gotten them back.
I can check right now.
I don't. I think I know what you're talking about, the spell, but
I can
I
cast
think-
Speak with animals and then cast.
Is that true?
I don't know.
Is Speak with Animals concentration?
is it on yourself or is it on the creature?
Sending is not concentration,
Oh yeah.
and it's a creature you are familiar with.
Horses are creatures too, man.
Yeah, I think it would work. You don't
They
know
have-
You've had some curious reactions from people who didn't understand the spell, as well as one goblin.
Oh,
You don't know what it
God.
might do to the mind of a horse, but you believe it would work.
I have a go nuts in my system. I'm gonna believe it.
True.
You gonna go nuts.
Okay, I will cast Speak with Animals. And then I'll cast Sending. Did Crater come with us? That first trip to the mountains, or no? Did you say
Crater
about-
was with us.
It was
Melody
Crater
and
and then-
Rhapsody.
Melody and Rhapsody, and then 2 additional
Mhm.
horses,
okay.
or 1
I'll-
additional.
One additional.
One
One
additional.
additional. Forte.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Forte.
That's right.
Okay, I'll send to Crater.
Okay.
Crater is Brightwing. Do not be scared. Are you back in Olea?
A
Make
month
sure
later.
You're safe, as well as the others. Hello.
Hello, as
Hello.
goodbye. Okay. A few moments go by, and you hear. Yeah, we're back home in some stables. Have you seen my eclipse recently? It's just I'm kind of getting well, it's sort of boring here.
Don't have a spell. Don't have enough spells.
Okay, otherwise. That's it.
The babe. It worked! They're here. They're safe. They wants to see you, Eclipse.
Yeah, we've been really busy.
I'm sure we'll have plenty of quality time on the road.
Are we doing that soon, or are we waiting for him?
Well, We could ask him tomorrow when time he leaves. He didn't say. He said he had some things to do, but he didn't say when he was leaving. But I kind of want to tail him, or at least go alongside, because I don't really want to wait for our payment. Quite frankly, we have stuff to do.
When is this, what called gala? What is a gala?
It's when a bunch of really rich people kind of get together and dress fancy and drink a lot.
It's like this, but with fancier clothes.
And richer people.
In like a ballroom or something.
I performed at this gala a few years ago. It was stuffy, but the pay was good.
What is a ballroom?
It's a big empty room. People who are standing and talking usually stand around the outsides, and the middle is reserved usually for dancing.
Interestingly enough, there are no balls in the ballroom.
Well,
Real.
there's
Why not?
There's some,
least-
but we don't count those.
What does that mean?
nope. 10-foot poles. Get your 10-foot poles.
I think it means that you need another go nuts.
Also, well, never mind.
Mhm.
If they just stand around in big room, why don't they just do it outside? If they just need space.
Because there's not as much of an opportunity to flout. Is that a word? Flout? I need another one of these.
Mhm.
Yep. Opulence and the ability to spend money on nothing and stupid things than in a big gilded building or room.
Yeah, free of weather, don't have to worry about rain or anything.
Berwin, do you have
We just
festivals
grow
at home?
trees. There's rain for festivities.
Eclipse, what was that?
I'm
Do you
sorry.
have festivals at home?
Oh yes. But they're normally outdoors.
Here they're normally indoors. Well, those are.
The really fancy ones are indoors. So think of it like
Just
that.
Yeah, at home parties usually take place in like a backyard.
The smaller ones, like the Spring Festival back in Proward,
Yes, that was outside.
that was outside. That was a lower tier in revelry, I guess.
We have the indoors for births and stuff, but normally we like to be out in open, we say. The only thing that is sort of enclosed is this our main meeting area, which is this grove of trees that are grove in a don't know how to explain.
They've grown up together, so they touch and form a canopy.
Yes,
Oh,
Okay.
that sounds
but it's
lovely.
all around you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like that.
It's where we have like very big important meetings.
I
That's
mean,
like
this.
that, but in
yeah.
a building instead of trees.
Okay, we just don't, do the festivities. It's more like if there's like problems need to be solved. If you are summoned to the grove, it is big news.
Right, so somewhere like it's just a private space.
But it's very large. Fits most people, yes. And the druids can make it bigger.
Oh. That is helpful, yeah.
Do they make it bigger?
With a lot of money and time, yes, but they can't just like move it like druids can.
Mm-hmm.
I think events like these are what you make it. I went with my brothers one year and as a guest, and it was droll and boring, and it was
Does not sound very festive.
well, it's very political and it's kind of a business meeting. But I went again later with some friends, and I had a great time. It's all about who you're with. But remember, we are here, well, we will be there, to work and to be eyes and ears.
Which can still be fun.
It can.
Because a little bit of...
I wonder how difficult of a time we'll have securing invites this late, or if that's something that Rylas has already.
Who's gonna get it handled?
Yeah, he should.
That is the impression he gave. I will also say, because you would know this, Faye, your family would have frequent, easy access to this, and your parents would often attend if they were in town. And now that your brothers are running the company, they might. You don't know how often they would. But it is heavily political and also heavily business, high business people.
Well, Mom's family was the politics side.
Mhm.
So I don't know that that was necessarily like a whole family affair necessarily. Shit. I can't do it till tomorrow. I wonder if
Do what?
Rafe will be there. Rafe likes to attach himself to political upstarts. And
He's
he's...
your brother.
Yeah. The troublemaker, the one that you haven't met yet. I don't know if it would be helpful or harmful if he were there, but he could certainly be useful if he's there. He's quite
Is your-
distracting.
Whole family going?
I don't know. I haven't asked anyone. We've only just found out about this thing 2 hours ago.
It's true.
Is Eclipse drinking?
No. She's just listening.
Did you want anything? What? There's lots of good food. I mean, decent food, but you know, it's a bar. Good for a bar.
I mean, the charcuterie board sounds nice. Just snacks.
They
Oh,
also
order a
have
charcuterie
legendary
board.
beer, cheese, and pretzel,
Oh, let's go.
top notch.
Hell yeah.
Order a bit of everything.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just like snacks or whatever.
Mhm.
Yeah,
I
just hit the
will-
whole appetizer section.
Yeah.
If the,
Like on the
will-
touchscreen ordering
Applebee's.
thing, just
Applebee's.
if the board
Is it
goes
half
around
price
and it
apps right
has the
Half
nuts on
price
it,
apps
I'm
right now?
stealing
With
Yeah.
the $10 margaritas, Matt?
it. Oh my
Oh.
god, incredible.
They're so
I,
bad.
Nas will indulge in apps with Eclipse, but he will probably not do some drinking. And then after maybe like an hour or so that we've been here, he will pull out some of that amethyst, and you'll see him carving at it.
Okay.
What's it carving?
Yo, no.
I mean, passive investigation at 26.
Oh! Actually,
Mm.
this might be exactly the sort of thing that passive investigation is actually
That's
useful
hard.
for, which is never the case.
You-
But you're not very far into it, right?
Not very far. I have an idea of where he's at, though.
Okay.
You would see what kind of looks like this hollow cylinder that he's been forming.
Okay.
And there are like traces where you can see there's like notches and arcs in it. And it's maybe about yay long currently. Hi, Deli. It's currently about yay long. There's a dog in this bar, by the way.
It's dog friendly.
Dog,
There's
yeah,
two.
dog friendly.
It's about yay long, and you can see like grooves that have been cut in 3 different areas.
Damn.
Okay.
And every so often you'll see him like touch it, and part of it that has broken off will like reform into it as he casts mending to kind of like fix any mistakes that he does.
Ooh, banger.
Love mending.
Dope.
Brahmin's like this.
Better than throwing it into the fire, surely.
Throw it into the fire.
Listen.
I want to get out from the bag any notes that we had from like the dossiers, the books that were at the hag's cottage from the bookshelf that we just upended into the bag, and like what we've gone through and kind of compiled, and to start putting like a cliff notes together.
Okay.
Is anyone watching as she does this? So we're in a public space.
You are getting more than a average share of sidelong glances. Throughout the night, you have a eclectic group. So
Even in a university town, people are still like.
Well, they're not like looking over your shoulder at your notes as you pull them out. You're just getting looks somewhat consistently throughout the night.
Brightwing is definitely like vibing right now.
Yeah. I'm subconsciously
also
pulling my dress over to conceal the weapons that I'm carrying. Just slightly.
Okay. Fair enough.
Uh-huh.
It's very, very highly possible that at 1 or 2 times throughout this night, someone stumbles over to hit on someone in your group. So, you guys are getting attention, but it's not like no one's prying or spying that you can see.
Okay.
I think after someone like comes to talk to Nas and goes away. I think they liked you.
I mean, many do.
Because he's so humble.
Humble is the word, yeah.
He was not very humble. He said he was very good. That's not.
You're Yasnip right now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. If I get a good way into that, I'm gonna like just pull the loot out if we've drawn attention. And
it's not so much that you're drawing attention. It's just that you are now and again getting looks.
Stand out.
New in town.
Yeah. Well, new in town, there is a bird girl who is not a race that anyone else has seen. Tieflings aren't that common either. Some people may or may recognize Eclipse, not but necessarily by person, but just the family. There aren't a ton of Panthic and Tabaxi running around, and this is very near the Consortium, so just that kind of and you all are seemingly armed, or some of you are seemingly armed in some ways, though you may be trying to hide it, and some of you have your swords in a pocket dimension that can't be seen. But that kind of sidelong random glance, no one's really paying hard attention, but
my eyes are up here.
Oh, you know better than that by now. Surely.
There's a reason I wear this.
I'm gonna pull out the lute and start singing, and plucking, and effectively I'm going for an acoustic version of Chandelier by Sia. Just slowed down a little bit, and that seems very rooftop bar.
Is it belted still, or is it like a softened?
It's softened.
Okay.
I'm not up on a this is just for us.
Okay.
But this is the lo-fi vibes.
All right.
Are you hiding the note taking like it's songwriting?
Well, That could work. Yeah, and like sing a little bit, play a little bit, and then like scribble some more stuff down.
I also assume that you guys, especially Eclipse and probably also Faye, have done a decent amount of this already.
Yeah.
Taking down some like the important stuff for your own records. Plus, if I'm not mistaken, you gave the dossiers to Rylis, or is that correct?
You gave him a
remember.
copy or something. You definitely
Yeah,
gave him
so
notes.
you
Yeah, we
would've
gave him
made-
copies. Yeah.
Yeah, so you would have made notes of that.
We've done this a few times.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I'm sure we had given the dossiers to Sam to look through back in the cave.
Sam looked through them. Yeah.
So she's seen them. This is just a hard copy.
Just for the heck of it, I will have Faye and or Eclipse, if it's or, it's with advantage, roll a... I'll say an investigation check.
You want the advantage?
Yeah, I'm pretty good at that.
Oh, wow. Go for it.
Can I give guidance or no?
No, this is kind of a retroactive how well have they gathered and summarized things.
28.
Wow.
Jeez!
Ooh.
That's a
Okay.
big number there.
For player purposes, and I imagine this is already the case, but anything that you guys have or have made notes-wise, Anneka has or could have access to, Sam would now know in full.
Okay.
So, yeah, anything that you would want to know that could be helpful, you'd be able to know, pretty much.
All right.
And I would include names of people, like give her like a hot list of names of people in like Proward and Sawfeld, like connections. Because I don't think word of her, real or not, discretions would have made it up there by now. So I think she could walk around and name drop us and still get in touch with people and be able to do a little additional digging.
A list of hot names or a list of hot people?
Yes.
Mm.
One and the same, really.
There's a star next to them, next to like Fennel and like.
True.
There's also a goblin wandering around there named Claire you could check in with.
They're great.
Oh.
Just don't get stabbed.
He will try to take you down.
I don't think he could, but he can certainly try.
He's not sneaky.
He's got big yellow eyes like this.
Yeah, go.
They like glow. I saw them from like a mile away.
You see everything from a mile away.
That's not true.
Sometimes it's 2 miles. You're right.
She didn't see this, and I'll go and like tickle her.
You don't, because your passive perception is reduced heavily right now. You have a -5 penalty to passive perception.
That's silly. I like this. Go, let's drink.
You won't tomorrow.
Mm.
Maybe like drink water. For every one of those you drink, you need to drink a glass of water, and then you need some tea and maybe green tea, something with caffeine, right? Like slow the.
Need some Faderade?
Are you saying something to help with headache?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I can do that, no problem.
Mm-hmm. She did fix us that one time, Naz. Remember when we went out with Edwin that one time?
Yeah, she did.
Mm-hmm. We deserve to suffer though. That was bad.
Not having to worry about the consequence of that is a bit more enticing.
Oh, there is lesson in drinking.
There's
You're
less than
borrowing
three
happiness
hours
from
to
tomorrow, usually.
The fact that you can reduce the latter effect of it, though.
If you weren't so inebriated, I'd ask you for more of that tea.
I can make it. I do not have to be.
I can make it.
Brightwing's actually doing that.
I was copying Brian. Brian was doing. I can do it, no problem.
Maybe
I can make you some to take with you on your journey. So in case you ever get your head all in a fuddle,
yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
Do you have any tea that can help you sleep and not dream?
Can try.
Why?
Well, I guess this kind of does that too sometimes, but...
You call it sleeping.
Huh?
I said if you call it sleeping.
I can give you some herbs that is fun to. How is the best way to put this? Make you sleep.
In what way? How does that work?
Make?
Is it you can do that?
Is it like a borderline like consent issue here? What are we talking about?
Well, it's normally reserved.
Brightwing roofies the whole party.
I'm sorry, did you want chloroform? I can make it.
I mean, that's what I'm talking about. Like, there are some times that we need to do some medicine that would require it to be very painful. So this would help to have someone sleep to not feel the pain of it. It's very strong. So yes, it would need to be given to consent because it would knock you out, so to speak.
Nice. I wish you could like know that in advance, like before you had like a really bad night, and like, because you never know they
say that, Matt.
they sneak up on you.
That's funny. But I mean, if that is what you wish, I can make it. Yes. I would just prefer you would have someone to make sure you are safe when you are under.
Well, now it sounds really serious, and now I'm
It's.
nervous. But no, I just I don't know. Forget I said
maybe try to
anything.
make a not as strong.
It's okay.
Melatonin tea.
Insight check.
Okay, what are you trying to determine?
On me?
On the forget I said anything.
Oh.
I was like.
Okay, roll an insight check.
Oh, I rolled that. That's right.
Yeah.
Yes, you do.
Natural 20.
Okay.
I don't know how much. Hang on here.
Faye, are you trying to
21.
are you 21? Are you trying to mask anything? Or I guess you don't, if you roll a d20.
I got a 16.
Okay. Wow. That's the worst charisma roll you've ever had in this campaign.
No. A 16 is my dice roll.
Oh.
I see nothing.
Oh gosh. Let me quickly look at your sheet. 1 second.
Can't go beyond anything she's qualified to
You
get.
said you got a 21 total?
Yeah, not 20 for 21.
If it's with flat charisma, that's a meets it beats it. If it's persuasion, you're toast.
Okay, well, I will just ask you, and if you can either tell me in the words you want to use or DM me if you want. Basically, are you trying to mask something with this? Are you trying to leave a tiny breadcrumb trail of some kind with this? Or are you just genuinely asking and have no...
It was that we were talking about tea
ulterior-
that fixes things, and Faye is buzzed and was like, "Hey, this is that thing," and then went, "Oh, never mind. There's nothing to see here. This is not the bard you are looking for."
Okay, I will say that Nas, you get more. You get something. It's like this wasn't just a pointless question on the side. There's something there, but you have no concept of exactly what it is or what the motivation.
Baby, I'ma be a motivation.
But I mean, if you would like, I could make a not strong version. We call it guacamole.
Oh, what? Walk a mile?
Is that what is that? Is that how you pronounce it?
That is what it is now.
Yeah, sure.
Walk a mile tea. Got it.
Oh, I get
It
it.
will
'cause
not
it
help
makes
you walk
feel...
a mile.
Yeah, it makes you feel
It
as if
makes
you
you
walked
feel-
a mile.
Exactly.
True.
Which is really not that far. We've
Knock
done.
you flat on your ass. What it's gonna do?
Ooh.
Some people don't have the stamina.
Mm.
Unfortunate.
Poor unfortunate souls.
In pain, in weeds.
I held back, Brian. But I mean, I think for Brightwing, she's just enjoying the
Okay.
buzz.
Hmm.
Gives her 2 cents in conversation.
How late do you guys stay out?
Not forever.
No.
Okay.
10:30 or 11
Mm-hmm.
at the
Okay.
very latest.
Said you were gonna show us your place.
My place?
Hmm.
I don't believe I ever said that, but the invitation is open now.
Field trip. Field trip.
Field trip.
You go on a field trip?
Walking over.
Okay. First of all, the bill is 1 gold, 6 silver.
I got it. Don't
Oh,
you
you
worry.
can't. No.
No,
Your money is
no,
no
no.
good here.
No.
This is your. No.
I do the thing where I go to the waiter before everybody else can. and
Both
give
of you
them
roll
the
an
gold.
initiative check.
Shit!
I want to be in this.
You're
Okay,
done,
go
You're
for
done,
it.
so. You're done.
14.
Dirty
Nice.
20.
Damn it!
Oh, all right. Sam gets it.
I can't do the
You.
sneaky
How much
Apple
was
Pay
that?
thing here.
Yeah.
Mm,
How much was
1
it?
gold,
1
6
gold.
silver. Mhm.
That's nothing, you guys. I'm
Oh,
so rich.
It's
It's
the
not
principle.
nothing, but it's not a ton for you guys given what
It's
you're
not the-
Just
earning.
fallen.
How long were we here?
That's largely up to you guys. I
You
would
said
say
for like 10,
few
10,
hours.
30. Few hours,
Yeah.
okay. I ask if in that time of me grinding on this piece of amethyst, would that warrant a check? Because this is my final day. Or no, did I already roll it? Fuck. I think
you
I
did roll it. Oh, no, you didn't because you said, I'm not going to roll it because you're doing something else. I'm pretty
Yes,
sure.
no? Okay. Would it warrant a roll?
Yeah, I'll say that. I'm willing to roll. If you were largely focusing on that.
For bits and pieces, yeah.
Okay.
Probably until people drank a bit more, but
Slurp, slurp.
nope.
Okay. Okay, and then you guys make your way to Sam's place, Sam?
Yeah, we're going to my place.
Okay.
I think it's a 30-minute walk.
Eclipse, you have made this walk before, but not gone inside. So eventually you guys get to this somewhat middle upper class home. Seems quite nice. In a neighborhood a little ways away from the main area, more towards the like the barracks of the guard than the university or the academy. But you arrive.
I pick the lock because I don't have a key for it anymore.
Word.
Change the lock.
Yep. You all. Oh, I will leave it up to you, some of you guys, whether you notice this or not, given you've been drinking. It's pretty odd, but
I don't even get down to it. I just like hold it at like normal key height and just like flick the lock open. So I practice this one.
Are you doing this stealthily?
I'm making sure if there are any neighbors watching that they don't notice.
Okay, fair enough. Roll stealth.
I don't
check.
care about these ones. That dice betrayed me. That's so sad. 14. Natural 3 for 14.
Word.
Yeah.
Okay. You and I will say you don't need to roll to pick the lock because you've set this up and you know how it works. So you're in.
Yep. There are a few. It's like decent inside. It looks lived in. It's obviously empty. Sort of smattering of Soldarian inspired furniture, rugs. Very cozy. There's a few toys that have just like left to gather dust on the floor. But it's not big. Cozy little place. I just motion everyone inside if they want to come in.
The thing where you walk inside and be like, oh, this is lovely. Oh, I really like that chair. Very nice.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent taste.
Is there like a room? I guess, is there like a closed kitchen somewhere in here?
It would be a separated kitchen. Like
Okay.
living room, kitchen slightly behind it, then a hall with 2 small rooms.
Well, night's still early, and then I'll walk into the kitchen, like to break eye contact with everybody, and just a few seconds later, come back around with 2 bottles of peach scumble
Okay.
from way back when.
Word. They do not look familiar to your kitchen, so you don't know where he got them.
I'm so
Sam.
confused.
But
Did someone leave those here?
I mean, they were in the cabinet. Couldn't tell you.
That is so crazy. There's like
Apart from peach scumble.
a big seat on the couch.
Too open.
Hold out a glass. Or I go fetch glasses rather. This is my
Yeah.
house.
That you can
Sorry.
certainly do.
They don't all match, but they're nice.
Incidentally, to, I would say, Brightwing and Eclipse, it certainly looks like much of, not some of what would make this place like a clearly recently lived in home is gone. Like, some things were taken, and there are a couple toys lying around, but there's also like a whole basket of toys that's empty.
I think Brightwing just picks up toys and dusts them off as best she can. Just kind of places them on the couch like a little kid do.
There's like a little airship and then a toy guard, a wooden figure.
Mm-hmm.
I think Brightwing opens up her pocket space and pulls out the toy boat that floated down the river so long ago.
Oh my gosh.
That's it. That's the airship.
I was trying to think of something fun, but most of these like party games I'm really bad at, like the Never Have I Ever, and like the bottle spinning one, and like I just
What is never have I ever?
Oh boy.
Oh my god.
A game that Right Wing is gonna lose in 5 rounds.
Mm-hmm.
Someone lists something that they have or haven't done. Is that how it goes?
Something
Haven't
you have
done.
done.
Haven't done.
Oh, you want to do it fun. You have to do something you have done, because you have to drink.
Basically, someone says, "Never have I ever been on an airship," and everyone who has to take a drink.
Might as well drink.
Oh.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. It's more fun if you target somebody else with your questions, even though it's mean. It's just so they get drunk faster.
Okay.
So, like, never have I ever been to the Estesian Forest. You would take a drink because you've been there.
Oh, I see.
You have a small cup of peach scumble handed to you.
Nas takes a drink.
It's true.
You've been inside or just, like, visited and saw it?
It's a big forest, you know. I've been there.
Yeah, it's like half the size of Kathos.
It's quite big, yes.
Work has never taken me there, so.
Is it lucky for her people, or
Is what?
that her line of work specifically, depending on what you were conscripted to do, never took you there?
Yeah.
So you do like spy stuff.
I mean, mostly just moving information, but never took me to Tristan. So, never been close
Kind
enough.
of remind me of my mother, to be honest. She's very,
Hot. Per Anneka's maxim of D&D.
Curvy and tan. I see.
What was Brian's
suppose
quote?
She does the same as you. She gathers information and makes sure that the wilds, the forest is safe. In that way.
Hopefully I'll meet her someday.
Very interesting. I don't know if you were both sneaking on each other or who would see each other.
You just walk by each other and no one knows.
My father is not good at sneaking at all. He's very strong-footed. So he is a very strong man. So
if no one can take you down, you don't have to sneak around.
very, very, very few can.
Is he hot too?
Like in the attractiveness. My mother seems to think so. So I suppose.
True.
Only trust your mother's opinion.
Yeah, the only one that really matters.
I would not be here if she did not. So.
Such is life.
Okay. Never have I ever been to gala.
Who drinks? Yeah, you drink. We know that.
I don't know if I have.
I would say that of the other 3, you would be the most likely to have. But it's up to you.
Drink. I feel like I'll get something to drink because I'm gonna be drinking a lot.
Some stuff counts for that.
I mean, that's up to Eclipse to interpret that, I guess. Yeah. That's up to her. Or up to you.
I think she's kind of hesitating between the two because she's like, it's not.
You probably they've been more like conventions,
Yeah.
but they've had a similar vibe. So up to you.
You do the thing where your glass is like half up, and then like
you
back
really
down.
Think about it.
Yeah.
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 Every time she's like, but.
They will take the flute and just tap the bottom of your cup up.
Still fun. They just put it down. They weren't the same.
My parents were watching Harry Potter and they just got to the part where Hagrid's like saying goodbye to Harry at the end of the movie, and I'm just kind of like, oh. You continue.
I'll say I'll take a sip.
Okay.
3! That was a good one.
Mm-hmm. Who's next?
I think the rest of us are having a hard time thinking of stuff that we haven't done.
So we, the person, have to say something we actually haven't done.
Or be self-incriminating.
Yeah, you could, but then you just have to drink, and then everyone
True.
would know. So
Mhm.
everyone's gonna know either way.
That was a Brian thought of one but doesn't want to ask it. Chuckle.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah, that's what it was. Never have I ever fallen off of a cliff.
That's just. I do I have to think twice because I fell twice?
Yeah, I think that would be brutally honest if you did.
Has it only
What
been
if I
Technically,
fell-
Sam
is it-
fell too,
is
so
it-
Sam will
is-
drink.
Is it specifically falling from cliff? Because I have fallen from other things. So just cliff?
I will include just cliff.
Excuse you?
Clips jumped, right?
She went all the way up though. She didn't like fall. I think.
That's
Yeah,
true.
no, Clips
Oh
didn't-
have
no,
to
no, she
restart.
tested the featherfall
Mhm.
tokens.
Yeah.
I still quietly take a drink.
Okay.
True.
That's what I was kind of gonna get to, but
I think I'm honestly out of things that I haven't done.
Yeah, I'm kind of thinking about it, and that's why I said it was kind of a bad game. I think this is just a really fast way to get Brightwing drunk.
Or was that not the intent?
Oh, okay. Never have I ever. Oh.
Rang the bell at a store numerous times.
I've only done it once.
but you did it numerous times that one time.
In that single.
Roll another con save.
Oh
Yes!
yes!
With disadvantage from round 1.
Let's
But
go.
I get advantage because
No, this is
No.
not to maintain concentration on a spell.
We're not in nature. We're in Sam's living
What's
room.
the spell so you can concentrate on it?
True.
I says advantage on con saves, man. Don't you tell me?
Nope.
Maybe your next feat will have advantage
Oh
on con saves on
my.
wild.
But that would
Let's
make it a
go.
5.
Okay.
Oh.
What kind of drunk is Brightwing?
Oh boy.
Angry
Tired.
drunk Brightwing would be wild.
Oh my
Just
god.
cusses up a storm,
Yep.
guys.
Yeah.
Or just short-tempered.
Brightwing after dark.
Not putting
We're all
up
just
with
sitting
it.
there, like up on. She's got us all lined up on the couch, and she's like scolding us, and we're all just like,
She sees all your flaws. And she's pointing them out every single bit.
Mm,
"What flaws?"
that is definitely a type of drunk person for the record.
That's true.
I think she's. I don't know. I think she doesn't. I feel like
She
the first time
giggly?
she's probably a little giggly, but I think she also relaxes. Like, you know, because she doesn't really relax. She kind of is always kind of like aware of everything. So that doesn't get you to relax in a way. If you're always aware of everything.
Mhm.
So I think for the first time she's giggly and she's having a fun time, but you also see just like a more relaxed.
In the moment.
Yeah.
Okay.
That person at the party laying on the ground with their feet up on the couch,
Mm-hmm.
like just like kind of hanging upside down.
Like she's like, if you say a joke, she'll definitely be like but like
It's also more difficult than normal to understand her accent because now it's slurred.
and yeah, she's probably going in and out of Korean like nothing else.
There will be like a casual gust going towards Brightwing as I just cast Gust.
I have a million cantrips. Frick. Hold on.
I have like 5.
I'll cast Thaumaturgy.
Oh my
To
god.
do what?
I can make I don't know. I can make a flame brighter or change color. So she's changing the colors.
There's definitely some candles or a lamp of some kind.
Definitely candles.
She's controlling flame. And like
Nozzle pull out the drum and start just.
Right, bro.
Oh,
Back
Rava?
again.
Oh, Rava?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
Rava?
We're gonna get a noise complaint. It's gonna be great.
All right. Any other things?
I mean, just generally, Sam looks a little bit more relaxed. A few drinks in and in her own home.
Okay.
I'm gonna steal the airship.
Ooh. Okay, roll a sleight of hand check. How much have you drunk? Because you didn't start drinking with
I didn't
everyone
start
else.
drinking with everyone else, so I
Okay.
probably would say I'd say I'm buzzed. I'm not.
Okay.
I'm
You've
nowhere
been
near
buzzed
where
enough.
Benoît
You don't
is.
need to make any saves.
Yeah.
Just roll a check. Sleight of hand.
25.
Jeez. All right. No one noticed you take this skyship toy.
Unnoticed in the morning.
Maybe, yeah.
I'm going to take out the
Be careful.
pigments,
Oh.
and I am going to make like kind of a large little coin. Something that you could like put a pin on if you wanted to, and it will have on the front it will have our little symbol that we've come up with, and on the back it's gonna have like a rose and like a tree, and like just this cute little like kind of mountain pass looking vibe, but like from the perspective of like it's this big, so as much as you can get, but like just the relief of that.
Okay. Let me look at these real quick.
I don't know what I can do with them, but if I need to like,
I think while all this is happening, Brightwing steward crafting flowers into Eclipse's hair.
Oh.
Did the ribbon go back, or is no still have the ribbon?
No, the ribbon came up when I took off Eclipse.
Just little white flowers.
Okay. You can make it. Okay.
Does that work?
Yeah.
It's a 3D object.
Yeah, well, you paint it as a 2D object, and if you make it like a few inches in diameter, like 3 or so, okay. Yeah, then you can get those details in easily. No need to roll. And then when you finish and determine that it's finished, it forms into a 3D medallion of some kind.
I'll go up to Sam. This represents where you have been. It does not dictate your future, but it is always an option.
And she just holds it and looks it over and traces it with her finger. You do see her eyes start to well up. It's beautiful. Thank you.
We're all complicated. It's kind of one of the prerequisites. We've all got stuff to figure out. So if you feel like you need to figure yours out by yourself, that's fine. Don't think this gets you a free pass from me checking in every once in a while.
I have to learn to do Sam voice and Edwin voice.
We're never talking as Edwin, you're fine.
Wow!
You will suffer with the knowledge that we never talked back after.
That's true. You told him you were going in, and he said, "Don't go in," and that was the last thing he heard.
Intentional.
Scare him a little bit.
Yeah, it's fine. I'll figure it out. Keep him humble.
Well, we don't know where he's at, so.
That's true. He's busy.
I look forward to hearing from you.
I think at one point of the night, as like Brightwing's doing the fire show, I think she starts telling a story, like the Khaings would say it, like a bedtime story, or one of those storyteller nights that they would have, and she starts to do her best in saying it. Oh, it's a good story. I guess it's sort of about a group that comes together to fight something attacking the forest, and one gets lost, but the group does its best to find it and reunite.
Do you guys stay here tonight? You making a living room pillow fort, or does everybody eventually make their way back.
I don't really have a guest room, so either sleep on a
Going to
very small bed or...
You going to stab us in the night?
And no promises, but that hasn't been on my track record yet.
What did the ceiling look like?
The ceiling?
Mhm.
It's probably just like a wood slat number. Nothing too fancy.
It's a 70s popcorn ceiling.
Anything but.
Anything but that.
Sam has better taste than that.
Oh,
Although
yeah.
people are doing that again on purpose, and it's just traumatizing.
Shame.
Hmm.
You guys are free to stay if you want.
Brightwing's probably already asleep.
Yep, already passed out. Just
Yep.
I'll get Brightwing a blanket and a pillow.
Okay.
Tuck her in. Rebraid her hair because she probably messed it up at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Her feathers ruffle.
yeah.
You just see, birds do what they like to
Yeah.
love.
Just
Hmm.
brush them back down slightly, warm her
Goofy.
back up.
Okay. Rest of you sleep there as well? Okay. Everybody gets a long rest. If you need it.
I need it.
Wake up in the morning.
Feeling like P. Diddy.
Yes.
Brightwing
to
probably
sunlight.
does.
Yeah. You have a bit of a hangover, right, Wing?
I'll get her some orange juice.
Okay. What would you guys like to do?
This is...
Actually, you know what? Let's take a break.
Take a break.
Coming back in, how late are people sleeping in?
Not very.
Mainly this question is to Brightwing, although I think she normally gets up early, so maybe this will just make her a normal waker.
You see, Leah always gets up at 6 no matter how late she goes to bed.
Ew.
Ew.
It's a curse and a blessing. I normally can go back to sleep, but my body
Black
still
no
wakes up.
out
blessing.
curtains.
There is no blessing with that statement.
No
There's no
blessing.
blessing.
Only
It's no
curse.
blessing.
That is
Only
sadness.
curse. So I feel like Brightwing is also cursed in this endeavor. That she still wakes up, but she's just like, I understand what they were saying. This,
Yeah.
Okay.
Or
happiness.
Water. I'll get
but
her some
I'll
toast.
cast lesser restoration on myself.
Level 2 spell. Just a casual level 2 to get rid of a hangover.
Yeah.
I
Imagine.
love D&D.
And I'll be fine.
Okay.
Actually, I gotta do my spells. Continue talking.
Mid to late morning before you guys would leave, but not like when you're waking up. Brightwing. You hear in your head. Briefly checking in, where are you in the group? I thought I might touch base before heading back. I'm not sure if you are planning to leave soon. You recognize Rylas' voice.
Oh. Rylas. We are currently in someone's homestead. We can meet you somewhere. Give us... Oh gosh. Goodness wilds. An hour. Yes, that sounds right.
Homestead, this is an apartment. It's not... Okay.
And that's it?
That's all.
It's all the
Brian
letter,
gave
it's
me.
all the words she
Oh,
got.
okay.
I think you only counted to 15.
No, I flipped it.
No,
Went to
okay.
25.
Oh, how funny. Okay, interesting. You will hear a secondary message since you didn't give him a place. It's no problem to come to you if that's easier, but if not, likely we say outside the consortium. I'll see you there in an hour.
Is Sam awake?
Yes. This is like after breakfast, basically. Assuming you guys eat breakfast.
I hadn't cast Lesser Restoration on yourself by now.
Probably. Brightman's gonna look at Sam. Grab
this
a
is
notepad.
great.
Grab a notepad. Can Rylas come here and flip it at you real fast? We will meet you at the consortium. Do you want breakfast? We can bring you some.
Timothy wants scones.
Would you like a scone?
Okay.
It was yesterday.
Few
Still
seconds
like
go
two.
by. A minute goes by. 5 minutes go by. He does not
He
use.
sent it. He
He does not send more key points to respond whether he wants a scone.
Oh, so good.
Take it as a yes.
We should bring one.
Doesn't
everyone.
want scones. Who turns down a free scone? A crazy person.
Crazy.
Well,
Alright.
An hour is not a lot of time.
He seemed very urgent to talk to us, like meet us where we are, and I felt Sam did not feel comfortable in that regard, so I figured gives us.
Should we?
Raises the question of, Sam, are you coming?
I mean,
I blame you. I blame you.
I blame myself.
Yeah!
you did that to yourself.
You have done that yourself!
There's a brief pause. I mean, if he went to the web, he probably didn't hear good news about me. So... I would like to know where he stands, but I can't go.
So we have to say goodbye?
Well, we can come back and tell her.
Yeah, if he wants to leave immediately, that's different.
Well, we'd still need some time to get all this stuff together. So.
We can wait a minute.
Well, go speak to him. I won't leave immediately either, so...
Insight check.
Oh.
Roll an insight check.
I was gonna say it, but I didn't.
Am I rolling?
You can, if you'd like, to roll a d20 and add a relevant number.
A relevant number?
Mm-hmm. What'd you roll, Leah?
23.
That's 22.
Okay. By the way that I do things, that's a tough one, because it's a very cut or dry situation. I will leave it up to you, Anneka.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to share, like, the most shallow hint at what might be going on in your head, you can do that. But there's by no means, like, she does not lie detector test you if that were being the case at all. And she wouldn't know for sure that it was true if that were the case either. So I'll let you determine how you would respond to that. Or what she would get.
Hesitation.
Okay.
Is what you grasp.
Okay. I guess, well, everyone gets their stuff together. I'll pull you aside.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I was gonna say, is it a pull aside to the whisper
no.
level, or just okay?
I do not want to say goodbye. Bye, mummies. But I also understand. We have tradition of my people. And she looks at her. It is just a way for us to know that we are always with you. And you are with us. A memory and a promise. Just in case I don't get to give it to you later.
Thank you.
I don't want to leave right there.
I can't have it on my conscience if you guys get hurt.
You
It
will
sounds it sounds selfish, but I can't do that to you guys.
Well, in fairness, what we are already doing, there is no guarantee of, not being hurt. And from what I understand, which, to be honest, I don't really understand the magnitude of people that are involved with what we know, I can understand that. Knowing what we know put us in a lot of danger already.
Just don't fall on a mistake for me.
I may fall, but I always have the power to get you up. And myself. No wound can ever truly bring you down.
I hope my own daughter is as wise as you one day.
Don't know if I'm wise. I simply find good people to put faith in. And it's done pretty well for me so far.
Can't see it has.
Well, whether we see you in a few hours or a few months, I truly hope the wilds guide you.
Thank you.
My arm back really tightly.
Okay. And then the heralds minus Sam head out. Megan, if you're talking, you're muted.
Yes.
Okay. Sam, when Brightwing goes to leave, what do you do with that feather?
This is quite important. I do need to know.
Okay, I think she takes a bit of her own hair
And braids it up, and with a little piece of string or twine or sewing thread, whatever she has laying around, will braid it in and let it just like sit.
Okay. As Brightwing turns and begins to leave and you start tying it in, Brightwing, you feel a slight, very slight, warm breeze that smells very much like home that just seems to waft around you. You're inside the house, all the doors and windows are closed, but it just briefly spins around you once. You feel your feathers flutter a little bit, and then it flutters past you. And Sam, you feel this breeze circle you once, toss your hair and the feather in it. You smell pine and fresh air, mountain air. Leah, you can add a DM inspiration to your sheet if you don't have one. And Anneka, make a note for yourself somewhere. If at any point we need to make any rolls regarding the checks for your points, you have a +1 on any of them as long as you have this feather.
Oh my god! You're the best, Riley! She's so good for my mental health.
I didn't even mean to do that. That's awesome.
All right, and the rest of you head out. Make your way to the consortium, where you see pretty quickly, kind of posted up, sitting on a block of stone somewhere near the stairwell up to the front doors, Rylus. He nods at you when you come up close. One short.
No.
Was that a no?
I said for now.
Oh, for now.
Only for now. Only for now.
Would you walk with me for a minute?
Would you like us gone?
I'm all right. Thank you.
Starts. Just look at Faye.
She's already like, oh.
He starts heading around through a couple different corridors of the outside grounds of the consortium to this sort of small courtyard area with like a gazebo, where it's very, very quiet and secluded. You see really no one else here. Somebody walking by like 100 feet away in a different area every minute or so, but otherwise largely trafficless. And takes his staff from behind his back, kind of just puts it in front of him and rests his hands on it. I had a conversation with a high-ranking member of the Onyx Web last night. Vorn Beckett, I'm not sure if you're familiar with him.
Met him.
Haven't? He has met one of your... Well, I won't label it at the moment, but the woman you traveled with. And the thread I was sent to inquire about with them concerns her. Are you aware of it?
Is his finger moving?
Not yet.
And you're following regarding what exactly?
This woman.
I've heard rumors.
What kind?
I think with you being the one that just spoke with somebody, maybe you should tell us what you heard. Obviously, hearing it from the source is probably a bit more reliable than anything that we've heard, is it not?
It may be, but my information won't change.
Good.
Based on your reply.
I'd love to hear yours.
Roll. Ooh, this is interesting. Are your persuasion and deception the same?
Let me look.
Because I'm not going to agonize over it if so.
No.
Okay. This is interesting. You know what? I will say roll one of both. Roll a persuasion check and roll a deception check. Not in that order. Give me the deception first, then the persuasion.
Deception.
That's cacked.
Is a 24.
Yacht.
Oof.
Persuasion is a 17.
Okay. I told you last night, before we parted, the general subject of the inquiry I was following. It would seem that Miss Talley may be connected in some way. And I will have all of you roll a deception check for your facial reactions, because he bores his eyes into each person in a row as soon as he asks that question.
Another one?
You can
30.
maintain yours. Actually, no, make this a new one, because this is a different reaction.
23.
Mhm. Jeez. What do you say, Faye?
30.
Brightwing?
Sorry.
I rolled an 18.
Okay.
I'm surprised.
That is very good as a group check. You all see him, and not like sneakily evaluate each of you. You can tell he is assessing. But the question remains open.
Lied how?
What?
So that
What
she's...
how?
I'm sorry, the last thing he said was that she was involved in this thread. Is that right? Or did I miss something?
No, that's right.
Involved how?
That level of detail isn't certain, though in fairness none of this is. It's a whisper, which is what the web deals in largely, as do we, though this was one we had not heard, which is unusual.
This. Regardless of what you've heard, the experience that we have had with Sam is including but not limited to her assistance in taking down those assassins. To me, to someone to whom words mean very little and actions mean so much more, because words can be made up. They can be crafted and targeted to the right audience. Those actions are not false. I trust that.
I trust you
Do you?
that what
Do you?
that what you saw
He does.
and what you experienced in the mountains bears the truth. I don't believe you to be crafting a story to protect her in some way. That said, I do not see wisdom in assigning one possible motivation to those actions. There are multiple sides to this thread, multiple questions without answers at this time. But the elimination of potentially the only two true witnesses to these acts, assuming even they are responsible, which in itself is not proven beyond a shadow of a doubt.
You have access to a way to gain that information, though. We have their heads.
You can talk to them as we did. Ask them yourself.
And I hope to, with your cooperation.
I will say, as the one that performed said spell,
There's no guarantee of the truth,
yes.
nor is there a guarantee of an answer at all.
But the answer that I was given when asked the specific question were they are responsible for the elimination of those targets. The answer not only was a given yes, but a prideful, proud yes.
And taking that word, hoping to confirm it, it would give us great confidence that these two were at the core of this. At least of the act itself, whether or not of the plot remains to be seen. Given their nature as mercenaries, I imagine it will not be the end.
No.
But unless you asked them whether they worked alone and they gave you a clear answer,
We know they didn't work alone.
You were hired.
They were hired, and there's a broken man in the basement of a dungeon who proves they didn't work alone.
so there are allies involved in this.
Sam is not one of them.
You seem very sure of that. Yes.
If you're worried about the rumor, why don't you let us figure it out? If it's true, isn't it our responsibility for traveling with her to take care of it?
I would say that you may now have a vested interest in it that you otherwise would not have. Though, again, should things swing in a direction you wouldn't ideally desire for her, it doesn't necessarily incriminate you in any way. But this is the type of thing that...
Sorry, I don't have an answer for that.
Nobody asked you, bitch! What do you mean?
Morales isn't Alexa. Confirmed.
Did I even say anything that sounded like Alexa?
The Bluetooth
Oh,
disconnected from
No one's
Rylas'
talking to you.
finger pen.
Yep.
Yep.
Sorry.
Which,
Accidentally found the Google Assistant.
incidentally, is moving now, since you started talking. You get the sense at this point that he's largely does not note his own words, unless sometimes very specifically, but is taking down anything that you guys say. But this is a thread that would never be left to a single hand to follow. Certainly not, and I don't mean any offense, the hands of a group tied to this person. I think you can understand the conflict of interest there, whether or not she is innocent.
I encourage you to do your own research then. I will tell you.
But it still
It-
sounds like anything you have is inconclusive.
Correct. This is a fresh thread. And as I mentioned, even the somewhat established one with the 2 Soulforged you killed, we haven't proven to beyond a shadow of a doubt. I hope that we can with your help.
I can perform this spell again.
I am curious how you feel so certain. You didn't know her at this time.
It's hard not to in a situation like that.
You built a bond with someone. Through trials, that I understand.
We could have died. She could have easily helped that happen.
I fell off a cliff and she caught me. Puts a lot of trust in someone. Could have easily let me fall.
But if you're worried about bias, we don't have to tell you that. You don't have to believe us.
Do you believe yourselves devoid of it?
I think if it came out she was involved, I believe that I am justified to do something about that. I mean, she's involved with the kidnapping of my dad, and I'm not gonna stand with that.
That I respect.
The funny thing about bias is that it's usually linked to somebody that is incapable of changing an opinion. I don't think any of us fall into that category.
I suppose that just depends on the strength of the bias.
I don't have bias, I have faith. Faith that she does what she does to protect the people she loves. But I don't think she used that to take such significant life.
And you believe that primarily on the basis of her character?
It is hard to explain. I see much and I hear much, but I also see inward too. And from the struggles that I see that she has, I see a lot of care and love as well.
What is the rumor? She worked with them? If she was working with them, she could have fought with them against us, and then none of the information that we would have been able to give you would have ever come to you. And they disappear in the night with Hugo, still gone, missing. No answers. How does that make sense?
Again, the reality remains that they may be the only people who could provide eyewitness testimony to her involvement. That is one potential motivation. I've also known many a person to find themselves wrapped into some ethically questionable situations who then rethink their involvement. And in my experience, those people tend to rebound the other direction with a forceful level of vengeance to correct.
So
I-
what is... Good.
I perhaps wonder most importantly whether you see these, let's call them connections, whether you believe them to be true or not.
Of course we see them. We're not blind.
Are you aware that she had a relationship of some kind, depth unknown, with the Umberblade in the past?
She knew things about him from his interactions with the web. Do you know and have a positive professional relationship with all of the members of your organization? If one of them went rogue, would you automatically be a suspect?
Not necessarily, but if my name came up in connection with whatever they had done, my past correspondence with them would be in question.
I don't want to say too much, Morales. It's not all of our story to tell. Sam has lived a full life, and her secrets are her own. But I do know that she has enemies. People that would target her with things like this. I encourage you, if you do research, I can't share more than that, it's not mine to share. But I do encourage you to take whatever research you do with a grain of salt.
Whose is it to share?
Hers.
Well, I would have liked to ask. She's not here.
Well, we didn't know that you were going to want to talk to her. If you'd
Let me
like to
ask
reach
this-
her, we could arrange something.
Let me ask this plainly. What's the Shaded Wind's intent with this information that you have now? Is she
Find
under
truth.
arrest? Detained? Withheld?
We don't maintain that sort of legal power. Our purpose is to ascertain the validity of something like this, to uncover the truth about it. Whether you see it or not, it is well within the realm of feasibility for your friend to have been involved in some way. And again, I value your perspective, but you must recognize that, and recognize that the truth should be pursued from every angle, and that you could have been fooled just as easily as anyone else.
I will ask your own question against you. Do you hold bias in this situation? It seems you've already had your mind potentially made up.
The only conclusion I have is that she has been connected in some way by someone's whisper. We don't know where it started. It's an odd sort of whisper to start for no reason. That doesn't mean that the reason is truth. My interest is to find out what it was, and whether there is any veracity to it. I don't believe many are devoid of bias, but I will go on a slight limb of confidence here and say it's largely my job to work without it. So no, I don't hold any in this case. I would hope that my fair questioning of you all in this matter would be an indication of that. If I were to take your word simply because we've worked together and let this thread run cold, that would be not only an act of bias, but a betrayal of my work. And I would hope you would not respect me for something like that, to be
I was
perfectly
about
honest.
to say that exact thing.
One of you maybe reach out to Sam, see if she'd want to come talk, given the information that we've gleaned.
What if the answer is no, Rylas? Is this a consensual conversation? And will you promise that if she's uncomfortable meeting with you to answer questions at this time, with it being so fresh, because she's aware of these rumors and is thoroughly shaken?
What are you asking?
If she says, no, I'm not comfortable, no, now is not the time, will you take that as an automatic admission of guilt, or will you take that for what it is of her saying, no, I'm not comfortable having this conversation right now?
No, I wouldn't take it as a admission of guilt. Certainly it might check a box on that side of the column. But the web does not contact the wind for things like this unless it's quite significant. And obviously the issue at stake here is quite significant. And that means there may be a rather large cesspool of lies, truths, questions, and answers that have to be sifted through. I will be attempting to do that, however I see best.
I think you're missing the truth at every angle if you don't ask her directly.
That was my primary goal.
Doesn't hurt to ask. If she's okay with it now.
Sam. Rylas is giving you a chance to speak for yourself. Would you like to take it?
There's a pause. Would there be consequences if I didn't? What does he think about it?
It would... I'll cast again. It would be potentially beneficial for him to hear your version of the truth. Without that, he would have to take everyone else's word for it.
I'll be there soon.
She's coming.
Okay. Okay, about there's like a 5-minute pause after you say that, just waiting, and Ryla seems to be thinking. Then he sort of asks generally to the group of you, not looking at anyone in particular. For my sake, if suspicions turn south and I seek help bringing Ms. Talay in some way, am I going to need to... Am I going to run into an obstacle with all of you?
When you say bring her in, I thought you said you don't have authority.
I don't, and I wouldn't be doing it myself. But there is God here. Would you
That
try to
seems
stop
to be
me?
a little misleading from what you had discussed earlier.
My job is to report. My job is to verify. If, in that process, someone appears to be worth apprehending, my job is to let the people know whose responsibility that is. Do you expect me to crawl back to the halls and write down the notes and then do nothing?
I struggle with the weight of what you're asking. It's not our place. I feel if you, in this way, if you're asking if we would hesitate, yes.
I'm asking if you would be an obstacle.
If you hurt her, yes.
I don't intend to, nor would I expect the guard to unless she resisted in some way. I must be somewhat frank with you all. Your devotion to this woman, while admirable as a friend, be careful of it.
I would say the same. What you said earlier, it is unwise to not see the connections. I would say it would be unwise to lose faith just because someone questions your own.
I would also be frank with you, with the fact of asking us, people that allegedly are trusted by this individual, offering for a method for them to come speak with you openly, voluntarily even, and then follow up with the idea that that could lead to the potential incarceration of an individual is highly manipulative.
What would you have me do?
Be thorough.
That
When
is
we
my
asked
goal.
about apprehension, you denied that you had any authority of doing so, leaving out the fact that you would reach for God. That's
And
intentional.
what would you have me do?
Tell
Were
me
my
the fucking
suspicions-
truth.
I have.
That's what you're seeking, isn't it?
When have I told you a falsehood?
Well, I suppose we shall see. if it comes to that. I think that goes as one in your book. You can write that down as well.
You understand that my job is not to appease the Twilight Heralds and their friends. My job is to serve this realm, the accord that binds these three realms on the whole, to seek truth in the pursuit of safety and prosperity. And my skill set is to evaluate and to assess and ascertain what truths I can in the ways and with the gifts that I have been given. If I have a conversation with your friend, and the suspicions that have been whispered are given credence, your suggestion is that I walk away.
I did not suggest that. What you find
You
with
seem
your
to suggest
conversation-
it.
What you find with your conversation with Sam is none of my business.
That's
All
why
I'm
I asked
speaking
whether
of
you
is
would
the
be an obstacle.
conversation between the two of us, where we openly asked if this would involve anything, or if you were to take her in and incarcerate her, whatever the restriction. You said you have no authority of doing so, which I understand is
don't.
true in your regard, but you're also leaving out the other points, the other steps.
And
And
what
I
was your
understand
assumption when I left that out, which you seem to take as an act of manipulation? What was your assumption for what I would do?
that you're gaining information, and that's it.
And if my information suggests that there is credence to this, then what?
That it falls to a agency that has information, and that's it. You go to a
So-
priest and admit your guilt, they don't do anything.
So you do expect me to go back to my halls?
I'd
write
expect
my
you to
notes, and
tell
sit?
me if you were going to be acting on anything if that came up. Because remember, you're also trying to gain future involvement with this group. You want us to help you. And we showed numerous times that we're willing to help, and yet you still do not give all of the information. You still hold more and more and more.
Just as you all did last night. You hold things in your pocket because they provide value to you. Again, my job is not to appease the Twilight Heralds. My job is to protect this realm by uncovering the truth. And that means that if I feel there is veracity to a rumor of a woman who is involved in an assassination, that I will report that to the people who can exercise safety. I'm not going to let her gallivant off into whatever other realm she wishes to avoid capture or question. And your assumption that I ever would, which is what it takes to believe I manipulated you, I find odd.
It's the wording. And you're a stubborn asshole if you don't believe that that's even a remote case of what you've done.
Stubborn
If-
asshole is on the list of things I'm okay being.
If we've just killed the assassins responsible for this on purpose. We hunted them down and killed them because
I'm well
of
aware.
their interactions with. This isn't for you. Because of their interactions with Hugo, because of their interactions with government officials and because of who they're working for and what that represents. If, hypothetically, Sam was truly involved. I trust her. I believe her. So I have no reason to believe that this will happen, but if it did happen, it would be right and it would be just for her to be taken into custody. The same way that it would be right and just for me to be taken into custody, or you, or Brightwing, or any of us, if that was the case. But it's not. And so we have nothing to worry about.
That's fine. I'm not objecting to that. I'm objecting on his choice to leave it out. My problem is with you, Rylus, not with you and her or anything that she's doing. It's with what you did to us just now. In a hypothetical, right now, you and I were fine. Nothing's happened, and I know that. But you need to know, if this course of action does take effect, and it goes this route, that leads to some sort of an apprehension, that I will believe you did so in a manipulative way. You're entitled to your opinion and what you believe, and protect the realm, by all means. But know the way that I will interpret it.
I understand your
all
position.
that is said has been said. And I feel if we talk more, it will get out of hand and feelings will start to get intermixed with the words. I suggest we take this time before the conversation is said to cool off, as you say, and to take a breath.
His finger stops moving. He just kind of slowly nods and leans back against a post in the gazebo. About another 7 minutes. Actually, Sam, roll an investigation check. You don't know exactly where they were. Bless you, Megan. That looks intense.
As a 13.
Okay.
3+1.
13
Worst
minutes
roll
later.
of the night. Yeah.
Sam, you all see approach.
What's the vibe?
As soon as you get within sight, Rylus is eyes trained on you, exclusively.
That's not a good sign.
Stoic. Everyone
I
else
will-
can give their vibe if they want.
Oh, I'll give better than a vibe.
Hey, yo!
I would have probably meandered off a little bit when Brightwing said to just cool off. And I just didn't want to be right on top of Rylus. But I will cast message to Sam.
Hey, yo!
Because I can do that now.
Okay.
Take it easy. Things got kind of hot for a second.
Sure thing. How is he feeling?
Who?
Rylus.
Suspicious and superior. Nothing outside normal. And I've got my hand up like this over my face.
Can I see you at this?
Yeah, she does this when you get in sight, because that's when she knows that you're within range.
Yeah,
I'll
you're only
just-
120 feet away, but I just am kind of like.
Mhm.
You, Sam, I would say, given your background in training and education, are familiar with this spell.
Mhm.
And see her, you have to whisper this back. Do you do the same thing? Keeping in mind that Rylus is looking right at you.
I'll say it. I'll like murmur it. No, fuck. He can probably read lips, can't he?
Observant, yeah, probably.
I'll cover my mouth until I get within 80 feet now, and mind link, so we don't have to talk.
Okay, so after you don't respond at all to her message?
Yeah, I'll wait.
Okay.
And then start responding once I get into mind link distance.
Okay. All right. You guys have that brief conversation, and as it finishes, you basically arrive there. He steps back up into that position. I assume you know why I'm here.
What questions do you have?
I would seek to hear your defense. There are allegations, which I believe you to be aware of.
Yeah, I'm well aware.
Your friends have paved a vague road towards this defense, but I would like to see it clarified.
Can
With
I make a
portions.
simple request before we continue?
He nods at you, Clips.
Brightwing, can you make sure we're not being spied on?
Of course. I'll cast. What's the spell? See invisibility.
See invisibility.
Does that work on Scryed?
It does. hmm
Do I have that spell? One sec. maybe.
Do you have it prepared? Is the question.
I have detect magic. I'll do that.
Okay, you just cast it.
While she's figuring that out, I'm just gonna turn to Rylus. We've been a little comfortable. I'd like to make sure it's safe.
He gives you a two nod this time. You cast Detect Magic, Brightwing.
Yep.
You get. Can you read me the barrier portion of that? The things that block it.
Da, 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 da. 1 foot of stone, 1 inch of metal, and a thin common sheet of lead.
Okay.
Or 3 feet of wood or dirt.
And the radius is
Na, 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 na.
10 or 30 feet. I can
30
never remember.
feet.
30 feet.
30
Okay.
feet.
This emanates outwards from you, and you get no blips of any kind about watching any sort of divination magic. You do get blips off of Rylus's wraps, a ring on one of his fingers, his staff, and
This guy's loaded, guys.
that's it.
Sam, are you wearing the weapons?
Yeah. Oh, are you?
Oh my god!
I would, for the same reason as we said last time, which is you are in a heightened state of self-preservation right now.
Yes, I am.
I would say you are. Okay.
I do have them.
Alright, I've done it.
Yeah, just kind of like tucked under my skirt a little bit, so they're not
Okay.
as visible.
All right. That finishes. He looks back to you.
Where would you like to start?
Hold. The days or weeks leading up to March 26th.
March 26th, specifically?
Which was about 3.5 months ago.
Meeting up 3.5 months ago from today?
From today, which is about just under 3 months before what you laid out in your backstory, essentially, because it's been about 3 weeks since you guys met. So, a little under 3 months from where you started as a character, basically.
Shit, did we... I forget the date we specified. If we specified a date.
I don't believe we did, but I believe there's a note about how many months prior it happened, which I think was 2.
Mm-hmm. So... It's 3.5 months ago. I mean, I was doing work with the web. I don't remember anything specific. I mean... chasing my kids around and working full-time, it was just... flew by.
If you don't have the exact details of the missions you were on, can you give me a general sense of the type of work in that time frame?
I was mostly doing... setting up jobs for others. I wasn't leaving much. Again...
And... go ahead.
I mean, I had 2 small kids that I couldn't take my eyes off of. I couldn't leave them, so I didn't.
But you still worked.
I still worked, yeah. The same place you
ask-
just visited.
May I ask why?
Why what? I
Why
worked?
you continue to work, given what you just said?
It's one of the few things I felt worthy in, that I felt good about. It was the one thing that was mine alone. And I had a very good standing with them.
And if I'm to understand correctly, you lived with your husband as well.
Mm-hmm.
Might I ask where they are?
I would ask you the same question if I knew you had the answer.
I don't, and I don't imagine it will surprise you to know that your associate doesn't know either. Not that it's his business, nor mine, necessarily, though it could have bearing. And you largely work alone.
In the last jobs that I did, yeah.
I assume checking in with the web, with Beckett perhaps, now and then,
Mm-hmm.
but not daily.
I grew past that point. Things
And-
got shaky.
Oh, so-
Everywhere. I don't think that's any of your business.
Roll a. I'll call it a persuasion or intimidation, your choice.
I go intimidation.
Okay.
I get
I will
it.
also note to you, you have something you can do with that.
I am aware, and I rolled very low, so I might need it. Where is it? Yeah, I'm gonna spend a point to get advantage on that.
Okay.
He's still over. That's a lot better. Other not the best. That is 15.
Okay. He pauses somewhat pointedly. The finger goes on a little longer than you would expect given the pause. All right. And your past connection to the figure known as the Umber Blade.
Hmm?
Can you characterize it?
There was barely anything. He was a work associate. Maybe had 1 or 2 jobs in the past, but he didn't talk much. We never grew close and never learned much of anything about him, except what I observed. And then they left, and I didn't see them after they left the pub.
Your husband is Reed O'Rourke.
How did you pick that up?
I had a detailed conversation with your associate.
Right.
Is that true?
It is, yeah. I have the papers if you want to see them.
Do you know his parents?
I tried to keep my distance.
Why?
Not too fond of me. And that's putting it lightly.
For any particular reasons? Or just a general in-law feud?
I have a dozen reasons in my head. I'm not of prestige in this country. I'm Soldarian. I'm a thief, quote unquote. It was not that I was not chosen for him by them. On it. Could be a million different reasons why.
Do you believe the depth of their disapproval to be what? We wish he had married someone better? we wish her to be out of the picture?
I mean, they've wanted me out of the picture since the beginning.
How do you know that?
The way that they would talk about me is not how you talk about anyone. You should never. It's.
Have you had any involvement with their political endeavors?
I tried not to get invested. I didn't put myself in the way of any of them. It never interested me. And I didn't want to spend more time with him than I had to.
And Chancellor Rogar Icescale.
Mm-hmm.
Any opinions there?
He was fine. I didn't know much about him. Didn't have any personal grudges or anything. You know.
This next question is one of tenuous ground, because I require your own speculation, and I'm more than aware that that's not the same sphere as your own witness to your past, but I find it might be valuable anyways. If this rumor, these whispers, are unfounded, untrue, where or why would they have started? If you are indeed politically unconnected, in your own opinions at least, if you've had no recent dealings with the Umberblade, it feels rather odd and specific.
Maybe to someone not inside of the mess of shit that's been made.
I'm inside of the mess of shit, but I'm trying to sift through it, and it's not easy.
If you want speculation,
Your best attempt at it.
I need to know this won't be held against me. In confidence.
Ooh-wee! You want to go off the record with Rylus.
Off the record with a very on the record man.
Yes.
Just say Adrexia Greaves and it's fine.
You know it, man.
Wow, wow, wow. I don't suppose you'd let me make that commitment after hearing it.
No. No. But if you want this information again, when it's cleared up, I can come back and say it again, wherever you'd like, and you can write down every bit of information. But not right now. And not here.
Roll a persuasion check.
Oh, dude.
It's not a particularly low DC.
I'm aware, and I have it +0, so.
Can I give guidance?
No.
It's a 6.
Turn your dice out.
They need to be purged.
I'm not willing to make that commitment without knowing the contents. Depending on what it is, I may be willing to offer it to you afterwards as a token of... And he glances briefly at Nas. Good faith. My intent, as I communicated to your allies here, is to find the truth and to follow the threads that I am privy to. Right now, your thread is one of significant interest for its novelty and its curiosity and the breadth of connections that seem to be somewhat relevant. However, I am most interested in knowing all the threads worth pursuing.
And how much time do you have to pursue the threads?
It depends on how significant.
Would you allow confidence if I told you that many high-ranking individuals of significant power are involved with this theory? And it could endanger, will, and has already endangered me. The rest of everybody here, including you.
To be honest, I would be surprised if whatever you just laid out doesn't apply, regardless of how true what you have to say now is. This is two of the most high-ranking politicians in both realms. And however, if you'll allow the slight insignificant you may seem in the political system, the names I have heard, and he glances briefly at the rest of the party again, I am well aware that there is power involved. And I am sensitive to that, and careful with it. I'm not a fool. But I can't promise you confidentiality.
Sam just kind of glances at the rest of the party. Looks back at him. So if you want to hear what I think, the rumor was started by Clara and Raymond Work. For the sole purpose of preventing me from stopping whatever they are planning to do.
And do you have a concept of what that plan entails?
I'm sure, as you will learn from the talking heads in the bag, the assassins were hired by them.
You see one of Rylus's eyebrows raised pretty high. The rest of the group, he doesn't stop moving his finger, which he did with Adrexia Greaves, but this is by far the most you've seen him react to anything else you guys have discussed.
You
Do you believe it?
I can keep going if you want.
The motivation would be the question to follow.
Taking the Chancellor's seat. So that they can... them and their little group can do their experimentations all they want. With nothing holding them back. Hell, they could even pin this on Sildari, cause a war to distract from what they're doing as well.
Experimentations.
On children.
He looks towards the rest of the group.
She believes the Rourkes are involved in what we have been investigating before. They are part of Ratalai's group that believe in free magic for all.
The Luminaries.
Yes.
And you think that they're involved in the abductions?
They could very well have my own 2 kids, which would be the only 2 magical chance of being magical kids in their entire bloodline.
They may have your kids.
That's my fear. Yeah.
As in, they took them from you.
Reed, as we previously mentioned, took them. There was no sign of a struggle in my house. They took things that a kidnapper wouldn't think of. They took their favorite toys with them. Blankets.
So you believe he was accomplice?
I don't know. I don't know what he was in all of this. Maybe I was blindsided this whole time. I don't know. But I have no other reason why he could have left.
And when did this happen?
Almost 3 months ago. Just after the assassinations.
Do you have any shred of hard evidence? Or something akin to it, even?
Just what the Ember Blade will tell you.
He mentioned them.
I mean, he said they had worked for the Rourkes. They were connected.
Did
Multiple
he volunteer
jobs.
that information, or did you ask about them?
What was the question specifically? Doesn't anyone remember?
I believe you asked them specifically if they had any dealings with the Rourkes.
Question 1 was, have you done work regarding the Rourke family? The answer was, Flint and I did work with the Rourkes more than once.
And they listed off examples.
What were the jobs? Various, some protective, some enforcing,
Yeah.
some escort. That was question 2.
Mm-hmm.
What was 3?
Did you assassinate Rogar Icescale or Brilvia Storn? It laughed, perhaps our greatest feat. Keyword, our.
Mm-hmm. It's a far-fetched theory. It's biased as all hell, but I think it's about as close as the truth as I can get it. It's probably the best anyone's gonna do for a while.
You all see him silent for a good 30 seconds, brows furrowed, just seeming to be contemplating. In the interest of the fullest transparency, glances at Nas again, but this one not like the quick sidelong, more of like a actually acknowledging you in it. I will share with you two sides of my assessment. One, the theoretically probable nature of your involvement in this. It did not become less likely to me through this conversation. There are, to be frank, holes, lack of alibi, some connection to parties involved, though not directly, according to you. That said, I don't feel that there is a strong confirmation of the theory either from these questions and your answers. On the flip side of that, this alternate thread it is extremely significant and plausible. For that I am appreciative. As I said to you, my goal is to pursue all threads. It is very rare, in my experience, that following one will give a complete tapestry. And I didn't have many others to go off. This one is quite sensitive, as is another that your group has brought to my attention. So, we will be treading lightly, which may mean treading slowly. But it is another thread. And I intend to evaluate its plausibility. Are you willing to share with me what you intend to do, or where you intend to go?
Well, I will also be looking for ways, looking for information on the matter from various sources.
Independently.
Mm.
My understanding is that your connection to the web is tenuous at best right now.
At best. But other groups exist.
And this could take place anywhere. Or will you be heading a particular direction?
Any direction. If I could. Maybe a little south at first, but around Prower, the Bragdale, where the kidnapping started as well. Cover all of the bases that might have been missed.
In your past run-ins with the Rourkes, you may have already had this conversation with, and he nods towards the group. Did you ever come across a halfling man and a large soul forged, not one of the assassins, in their employ?
Have I?
Roll a history check.
History, that is a 19.
19.
Mhm.
Not that you can think of.
Okay. Can't say I have. I didn't try to linger much around their business.
Forgive me for butting in, but I think you have a way to prove if she's involved. The Rourke
How's that?
specifically, then. Rill and Magnox, the one that you speak of, I believe, gave us a piece of paper which you now have. Eclipse, correct me if I'm wrong, but if you don't specify somebody, they go back to the person that had them originally, is that right?
This. Immediately appears as a rolled piece of paper, either at the location chosen by the user or 5 feet in front of a creature chosen by the user that they are familiar with. Yeah, I would assume.
Yeah, we had
It
previously
won't-
established that
Yeah.
that if they gave you one that was connected to somebody else in particular and you didn't intend it towards somebody, it would go to that person.
Rill and Magnox had given us that piece of paper saying if we were looking for work, we could use it. It was connected to their employer. It was a she, and they never gave a name. It said she was in great power. If that works as we understand it to work, then the possible locations of its arrival would be either with the individual or where they designate, in which case it would be in their potential possession. That could be tested.
All right. I will follow your line of thinking with two, well, question and observation. The observation first. There is no utterly conclusive proof that those two were involved. There is just likely circumstantial evidence based off the tracks you found. Is that correct?
Yes, it would still be, to put
It would-
plainly, hearsay from them on our word that they told us this link to their employer. But this was
Alright.
told to you months ago. So, and as it were, we did not know Sam prior to then. So there would be no possibility of fabrication to protect her or change any sort of metric in it. It would be unbiased.
He nods, like an acknowledgement nod. And the question, were you to attempt this, how? What would be the nature of what you would write?
Be that we're looking for money, under a ruse, a sting. We were told long ago we hit more dire straits. We were interested in pursuing something with this individual. If it turns out to be a turnip farmer or whatever the hell it was they were looking for, then oh well. But if it's something more, could turn into another thread.
I see value in it. I also see risk. It could mean exposing yourself to whoever is on the other end. At least making them aware. But if you choose to do that, I would hope you might fill me in on the results.
Well, you have the paper.
You gave him the paper?
We gave him the paper way back when.
Wow,
we,
wow, wow.
We didn't
Yeah,
hold on to that.
you're muted, Megan.
Yeah, we
Okay.
did not keep that. We gave that to him for him to figure that out, whatever way he was going to.
Yeah. That's right. Okay. If someone else were to send them a message, I suppose I could impersonate you. But they would expect it to come from the people their employees gave it to, I assume.
Whether you give it to us to pursue or do it yourself.
There's no way of them knowing who sent it if you sent it under the ruse of it being us.
They have the way of tracking that specific scroll, and not all of it is used up all at once, unless you send the whole paper. Gives something to look at least. We could get
Take
a
into
small
consideration.
box and put it in there.
A note in a box. Now put that box in another box.
It's worth considering. I'll think about it. I have been hesitant because I don't want to tip a hand, but if it can be used as a verification tool of some kind, that could be useful.
And if the Rourkes are to be at the gala, and a slip of paper just happened to apparate in somebody's hand or nearby,
You wish to use it in a immediate vicinity.
be a little bit more conclusive, I think.
Interesting. I'll consider that as well. Assuming that you all still plan to stop by the Wind in Ilmara.
You think we would just simply not collect our money?
It's there, and we could discuss it further at that point.
When do you plan to leave, Rylas?
Likely today.
I think we were of a similar mind. don't know that we necessarily need to travel together as friends, but perhaps in each other's vicinity for safety.
Are you riding horseback?
We have a wagon.
Will we slow you down?
A bit.
We could get one more horse. We're really only short one.
Do you all feel comfortable traveling that long distance in that close of proximity? Scans mostly, but pauses a little longer on Nas.
I told you how I feel about you.
Look to the rest.
I don't have a problem with it flat out, but I don't want it to make anyone uncomfortable.
I missed the question.
Do you feel comfortable traveling with Rylus for potentially several days?
Sounds fine with me.
And still pending the outcome of these conversations, I believe that our slight heating up was merely a statement of boundaries and expectations.
But I can already see progress being made, so at least an attempt.
You think you can handle this for several days out in the wilderness?
We
I may have a
have hammocks.
And drums?
The roads are not without danger, and I typically avoid that danger through speed and stealth. But a little extra defense in numbers isn't a terrible alternative. And my skill set of evaluation is strengthened over time. So as long as you're all okay with a careful eye, I'm willing.
Does the finger stop when we're eating?
That.
It depends on if the dinner conversation is significant.
Okay. I think you need a day off.
Are you salary or are you hourly? Because you get so much overtime.
If you have a bad dream, do you have to write that down too?
If I feel it's relevant. I don't put much stock in dreams, though.
Insight check.
Do you actually make that sound? Okay, roll an insight check, Nas. I won't say with advantage. I'll say there may be a slight bonus based off the relevance to a previous insight check.
Well, I rolled an 18 for a 19 this time.
Okay.
The first one was a natural 20.
I'm going to say that this outburst was not masked in any way, and I'm going to say that with a slight boost, it's going to be above a 20.
She's gonna roll a fucking million anyway. It doesn't matter.
Well, I'm not going to give her a roll. Megan, I will say
That caught me off guard.
Yeah, exactly. This wasn't masked by her charisma. I will say, if you feel that Nas might get something off of that with a plus 20 roll, you can DM him. because this would be for him and his read. Are you willing to leave in the early evening? Enough to get a few hours on the road before nightfall.
That is entirely up to Eclipse. And the time that she feels she would need to properly part with her family for the foreseeable future.
Looks at you, Eclipse.
I think they'll be okay, but definitely need to tell them first.
There's a few hours for that. Looks at Sam. And you?
It would make more sense to stay south before going up.
Alright then. I'll meet you at the northeast gate. Let's say 3 hours from now.
I mean, it's only...
Actually, you guys probably started this around 10. It's probably like 11:30. Let's say 5 hours from now. It's 11:32 right now. Does that work? Right. Your story is compelling, if nothing else. To you, Sam. I won't say I hope for a particular outcome. I don't feel the bond of friendship your allies seem to, but if what you've shared is correct, I, and perhaps many others, will owe you quite a bit. So in that sense, I hope it to be true. If not, I hope to find you easily in the future.
Then I hope to hear about some great repayment next time I see you.
Nods and heads off. And I will say, whether or not it would technically happen now or after going back to the house and saying goodbyes with the Four Noirs, let's play through the goodbyes with Sam in the last few minutes we have.
I think at some point I would have gotten another scroll
Okay.
to
You
fill
can-
mine up and then to hand this 5 scraps I have to her.
I will say you can get a full one, which I believe is 10.
Yep.
Okay. You can get a full one to restock yours, and you can give her 5.
You already know how it works.
Mhm. I'll let you know if anything important comes up.
And I will give her the biggest hug. I'm gonna find them. And they're gonna be okay.
I'm counting on it. No pressure.
No pressure.
This isn't goodbye. It's just a. We'll see you in a little while. Give hugs.
Big
Just
hugs.
like big hugs. Put my chin on your head.
Mhm.
Okay.
True. Same with Eclipse, TVH.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
One thief to another. I took something from you.
Yeah. What was it?
Let's find out.
Ooh.
Roll for sass.
I'm sure when you realize, you'll know why. You'll get it back.
I look forward to it.
See assist. And I'll like nudge her on the chin
Mm.
and give her a hug.
I didn't take anything.
In fact, you gave something. Which I appreciate.
We already said our parted ways, but I can still say see you later.
Mm.
I'll give her a hug.
Okay. And with that, Sam departs to who knows where. And we will end the session there, prepping to leave north. Anneka! As Cammy would say.
I'm not here anymore. You don't acknowledge me. I'm not here.
Acknowledge.
Mm-mm.
Thank you
Mhm.
for your however many sessions that was so far, and we will hopefully see you again in the not too distant future. Favorite moments
Go nuts.
from this session and or any general Sam favorite moments that anybody wants to share.
Oh.
Mm. I mean, they're all great, right?
Yeah.
Mm.
Surely. Getting turned into minced meat. Pretty great.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Super tender.
I get knocked down, but I get up again.
Mm.
And I get knocked down.
And I get knocked down.
I
Get
get
up
knocked
again.
down. I get knocked
And I get knocked down.
My favorite moment with Sam was after the test battle, and her and Brightwing had that conversation by the mural, whatever it was.
Mm-hmm.
I really like that conversation. I feel like their bond grew a lot with that conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
My favorite moment, my goal every time I play D&D with this specific group is to get Brian and Matt to laugh.
It's a pretty good goal.
It's a pretty good goal. The fact that I've done it multiple times this session and just a few seconds ago with everyone, that was great. So
We laugh
I
at
always-
everything, though.
I know.
Also true.
This is a giggly bunch.
we laugh at everything, but like, it's just something. It's just, I never meant Brightwing to be a comedic character, but she's become a comedic character because of Brian and Matt's reactions. Because I just live off them because they're just so funny to me.
Valid.
Mhm.
Need
I
to
like-
add nuts to the cookbook.
Nuts.
Go nuts.
Go nuts.
Go nuts.
I think my favorite Sam moment still is the mountain session where she got discomfort when Naz was taking a shower.
Hey.
For this session, I actually really liked arguing with Rylus.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Call him out.
Yes.
Keep him honest.
Yes.
Yeah. And there is a clear disconnect of personality between you two in like what you guys prioritize, and it creates this clash.
Mm-hmm.
And I like that. Yeah, that was good.
And I really do like the fact that, like, for Matt and me fucking love each other. But like in that moment, I was like, "You're Rylus, and I fucking hate you right now."
I felt it.
We felt
I
it.
was like, oh my god, that's just
It was like-
personal.
I kind of don't disagree with either of you. It was very much like the fight and the other fight, like
Mhm.
where it was like, hold on a minute, like no one's wrong,
Mhm.
but
Which is, I will say, something that, and I think we said this after that fight too, the fight and the other fight, is something that has happened, I think, a few times in this campaign that I really appreciate, is that there's been, like, legitimate arguments and conversations that had reasonable takes and opinions from every side, and it makes for much more engaging than, like, well, someone's just being a butthead yelling nonsense.
it's like
Yeah.
it's just perspective and priorities.
Mm-hmm.
Boundaries and expectations.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I liked it because I
Anneka?
felt like.
Oh.
No, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Say
Go
that.
ahead.
I liked it because I think it expanded on characters, which I don't know if that makes any sense, but I feel like Nas grew in more of kind of like a leader position in that conversation, and I felt like Brightwing kind of grew in more of an advisor in that situation by being like, okay, let's calm down, let's take a step back before we get into an actual very serious conversation. And I felt like there was like a little ticks of growth for
I would
multiple
like
people.
to believe also, and this is just 10,000 foot view from it. I like to think that part of the reason why Brightwing did that was because Eclipse did it for
Yeah.
her, like when Aedwin and her were going at it.
Yep. Eclipse and Brightwing both do diffusing well.
Phase
Also
over here
from
throwing
different
sticks.
Yeah.
throwing gas on the fire.
The devil's advocate.
Anneka, any things in general you'd like to share or say before we sign off?
Megan's favorite moment too.
I said the go nuts in the bar and just like the vibe of all of that and just like the scumble and the never have I ever and just like I don't know, I like
Yeah.
I like just those realistic
Should
like what you doing?
Should I drop the never have I ever that I thought about?
Yes.
Okay. The never have I ever that I thought about was right after we talked about Brightwing's dad. And so the never have I ever was going to be never have I ever hooked up with somebody's dad out of spite.
Oh. What?
And he was going to fucking drink.
Megan and Faye.
Hey, yo.
What?
Never have I ever hooked up.
True. Also, wait,
She
you
just-
should have said that. That would have been hilarious.
She would have started drinking before you finished the sentence.
Yeah.
With someone's dad, and then she goes.
That was fun.
That's great.
The amulet and the feather and the filling with feelings that she can't put into words very well. And yeah, it was just bittersweet the whole way through. And I liked it, even though it's kind of, I don't know if it's like a positive thing, but it's just that no matter how much fun we were trying to have, there was just that underlying feeling.
It's the same thing though, like have you ever attended like a going away party for a coworker that you like, and it's like you're not gone, but it's
True.
not ever gonna be the same again kind of a thing.
Yeah.
And it was that same vibe of like, hey, this is wonderful and this is great and we're having the best time, and it's like nothing's ever gonna change, but you know, like a little bit that things are gonna change.
Exactly.
Alrighty. Well, great session. I feel like there was maybe 12 seconds of not talking. That was just so much conversation. Imagine being like a dungeon crawling role or D&D player and
Right?
observing this where we just literally talked the entire time. Like a few insight rolls were made and that was pretty much it.
Yeah, I think we rolled
Yeah.
enough times like to count on 2 hands.
I think I rolled one.
The most of my rolls were insight checks against Faye.
True. All right. We will sign off there. We will adieu Anneka for the foreseeable future. And we will pick up here next session. Adios.